Hello, everyone, and welcome to this audio podcast. This is an audio podcast as part of the Labostix practice, the Labostix practice edition. This is an all audio podcast as part of the Bostix G-Force, an audio podcast as part of the LabTide G-Force, and an audio podcast as part of Biomedical Science Day 2023. And this audio podcast in this audio podcast, there will be an overview aligned to the sort of anticipated sort of biomedical science congress set to take place sort of later this year in 2023. Later this year in 2023 in the United Kingdom. The Congress, or this Congress, looks to looks to well sort of have a sort of have sort of a range of speakers, and presenters in around sort of aspects of laboratory in around laboratory medicine and pathology, where there will be main plenaries, sort of laboratory medicine leadership, laboratory medicine leadership summits, and also well, there'll be speakers and presenters from those in around cellular pathology, looking at looking at clinical chemistry, looking at cytopathology, looking at hematology, looking at immunobiology, looking at laboratory management, looking at medical microbiology, looking at molecular pathology, looking at point of care testing or POCT, and looking at quality, looking at quality management, and also a sort of a novel aspect to the Congress, a novel aspect to the Biomed Congress for 2023 is a remit in around looking at pathology and politics, aspects of pathology and politics, and also in around a remit around the United Kingdom accreditation system, which is a basis for where in around pathology and laboratory medicine, in line to sort of investigation or testing investigations for particular or specific areas of diseases or disorders, etc. The UKAS, or the UK accreditation system, is an accreditation a procedure or aspect wherein all laboratories aligned to pathology practices and aligned to test and investigations are and have to be a sort of UKAS accredited to ensure aspects of accreditation, but also aligned to assurance so that testing investigations that leave laboratory practice for patients aligned to particular disorders or conditions, can be assured that can be assured that aligned to the test and investigations that are requested by other healthcare professionals, for example, can be assured that the test and investigations are quality assured, and the UKAS sort of remit will have a remit in around looking at accreditation to, for example, accreditation to support the validity of tests and results, tests and results, and validation and verification requirements of particular standards, and where standards are in regard to what are referred to as ISO standards. And also, as part of the Biomedical Congress, there is a remit in around bacteriology and virology, and there will be varying exhibitors as well, and the remit in around the Biomed Congress is where the sort of the Congress looks to welcome a sort of opportunity for the profession to come together, reconnect with colleagues, and to welcome student and younger members in around the profession, and also responding to comments, etc., received from 2022, and where comments look to highlight, factor in a sort of decisions to continue Congress as a weekday sort of event, and therefore a Congress 2023 will be over a 4-day duration in sort of later 2023. The remit also has a basis where it has a basis in where there will be speakers and presenters highlighting sort of the main sort of advances in different aspects of pathology, but also there will be speakers and presenters highlighting aspects in around sort of advances in sort of practices, for example in forms of research poster presentations as well. There will be there will be at Congress, there will be at the Biomed Congress in later 2023, there will be varying pharmaceutical exhibitors as well, and the remit as well will have a basis in around looking at sort of the educational aspects, and for example, looking at understanding and evidencing the new healthcare professionals council standard operating procedures, looking at specialist portfolios, and looking at sort of aspects around learning outcomes, looking at challenging of identifying and supporting research projects in the workplace, and um, looking at sort of practice educators, and the role in helping to develop the laboratory workforce, and also the use of, for example, apprenticeships at different levels as a route into the biomed profession, and also looking at using a digital tech to revolutionize how we learn, or how we learn, and also looking at, for example, what are the barriers to an inclusive curriculum and learning experience as well. So the Congress, the Biomed Congress, will the laboratory sorry the Biomed Congress again will be taking place in later sort of 2023 in the United Kingdom. So the uh, the the Congress the Congress will have will the Congress will also be sort of an opportunity for for example, who who have intrigue, for example, have intrigue in around aspects of pathology, um, in around aspects of pathology, for example, sort of early career investigators and researchers to gain sort of perspectives in around different aspects of pathology, and look at sort of pathology and laboratory medicine from in context of routine practice, which can often be sort of can often be sort of sidelined, owing to where automatically the perception might be that in context of advances, where advances are made in context of laboratory or pathology practices, the remit sort of historically may well be that that advances are, for example, only made in context of academia, or academic laboratories, or academic sort of pathology, and so the Biomed Congress has is an opportunity for early career researchers to identify how different aspects of pathology practice, different aspects of pathology practice or laboratory medicine are important in line to for example, for example, for example, collaborations are can be pivotal, especially around specific and particular in around sample requests, sample requests in line to particular and specific clinical trials that might be taking place in around particular particular investigations, but also aligned to different regions of pathology practices taking place in line to uh, in line to in line to different across different divisions of pathology in around the United Kingdom. So that draws this sort of overview in around the anticipated Biomed Congress for 2023. This has been an audio podcast as part of a Labostix practice edition, a part of a Labostix G-Force, as part of a LabTide G-Force, and part of an audio podcast series as part of sort of Biomedical Science Day 2023, and also another as part of an audio podcast as part of another Storm Labostix production. Thanks for tuning in.